Faraday. We're in my home kitchen, and today we're making Juicy Lucy's. This burger is hands down the best burger I've had in my entire life. They're basically a burger that's stuffed with cheese. Not only that, we're gonna make homemade pickles and homemade potato chips. So you're getting 1, 2, 3, count them, 3 recipes in this video. So you're very welcome. To get into this Juicy Lucy, we're starting with our beef. In order to make that beefy flavor come out a little more, the secret ingredient that we're gonna do is we're gonna add some yellow mustard. Now, the Juicy Lucy itself, first of all, why? Why that name? It was invented at a couple restaurants. Obviously, everyone wants to take credit for naming this thing. I don't know why, it's a dumb name for a burger. Sorry to any of you out there who live in Minnesota and who love these 2 restaurants. It's Matt's or the 5-8 Club. They're like just down the street from each other, evidently, maybe like a couple miles away. They both claim to have invented the Juicy Lucy, and essentially what makes the Juicy Lucy different from any other burger out there is that they're putting cheese in the middle. I'm just adding some garlic powder and some salt. One of the restaurants claims that someone like ate this burger and was like, wow, that's a Juicy Lucy. And that's how the name came to be. Adding some Worcestershire sauce as well. Oop. They both spell it differently. One spells it like J-U-I-C-Y, Lucy, L-U-C-Y, or one of them spells it J-U-C-Y, like juicy without the I, Lucy. Honestly, can't keep up with these people and all their inventions that people are making. These food inventions, everyone wants to take credit for everything. I can't deal with it. So, you got nice clean hands. We're gonna get in here. I'm using just a basic grass-fed beef. If you guys wanna use dry-aged beef, by all means, do it. I think that with a burger, what you really want is good quality meat. And I think that if you're letting that meat shine, you're gonna have a good burger no matter what. And honestly, using Worcestershire sauce and the mustard really helps accentuate that beefy flavor of it. So we're not gonna do too much to this. It's gonna be pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty delicious. All right, we're gonna take our meat and we're gonna divide it in 2. I'm gonna take this, divide this in half as well. The key to this Juicy Lucy, obviously, is the cheese. We're gonna use straight up American cheese. We're going to take 1 slice per burger and quarter this piece. We've got 4 little squares. We're gonna keep 2 of the squares together. Basically, do I do this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this how I do this? Is this how I do this? Okay, we're making these like smash burgers. This is gonna be 1 burger and this is gonna be 1 burger. We have to divide it in half so that we can put the cheese in the middle. We're gonna smush this out into like a 4-inch circle or something, and 2 pieces of cheese we're gonna put in the middle. Then we're gonna take the other half, make it into another little 4-inch patty here, and then we're gonna put this on top of this burger. Seal up the edges. And I like to flatten this out a lot because essentially you don't have that much cheese inside and you want it to be able to melt. Little patty cakes right here. Look at that. Snack and cheese. We're gonna put these aside. Have some snack and cheese. We're gonna start making our homemade potato chips. So we're gonna use some Yukon Gold potatoes for this. Because they're less starchy, they end up just tasting a lot better. I'm gonna fill this up with some cold water. If you don't have one of these like Japanese mandolins, I highly recommend getting one. You're not gonna be able to slice your potatoes thin enough without one of these. Also, just be really careful when handling this because the blade is very sharp. We can just go directly right into our water. See, look how thin we're getting these guys. You can see through this, it's like paper. Now I'm getting to the end. I'm gonna be very careful and go a little thinner. In fact, I'm gonna stop right there just because I don't wanna have any accidents with the camera rolling, okay? If I was home alone, maybe I would do it. Although maybe I shouldn't do it when I'm home alone in case I have a really bad accident, but whatever. It's just having the camera on while I'm here means you guys catch me doing something stupid. I don't want you guys to think I'm stupid. All right, my favorite kind of potato chips, you ask? Sour cream and onion. Sour cream and onion, and I also love the rippled potato chips. I think those are really good. I'm not a big fan of like the old like Cape Cod ones or whatever. I also love Cool Ranch Doritos. Cool Ranch Doritos are the best, okay? I love them. Just gonna rinse them. Like, look, you can see how like cloudy the water is. That's all the starch. We're gonna change this water and then we're gonna re-soak it. We got nice clean water on our sliced potatoes. We're gonna add a 1/4 cup of vinegar, about 3 tablespoons of salt. The vinegar is gonna help make sure that we have the potatoes that aren't like sticking together and they're gonna get really crispy, and the salt is just helping with flavoring for it right now. These are gonna soak for about a half an hour and then we'll drain them and we have to dry them completely before we end up frying them. But that's it. Super easy. We're gonna make our homemade pickles now. Pickles are one of the oldest recipes in the books. They're one of the oldest tricks that we've been doing since around like 2000 BC or something. It's a way to preserve, you know, vegetables, meats, whatever. The only thing I ever really want on my hamburger is pickles.
Why do we call pickles cucumbers pickles, but everything else is the name of the pickle thing?
Good question. Why? I have no idea. You've really put me in a pickle, Ian. So actually, the term "in a pickle" was coined by Shakespeare. So thank you, William Shakespeare, for giving us that. I think it was first used in The Tempest. So, I don't know. I'm a real Shakespeare buff though, So we're going to just slice kind of like the ends off of these. I'm using Persian cucumbers. I'm gonna pickle them whole. I read somewhere that like slicing off the ends like that actually helps keep them crispier, which I don't know how true that is, but we're gonna go for that. We're gonna put all these cucumbers right on in here into this jar. We're gonna shove in a couple cloves of garlic as well, and some dill, because we love dill, and these are dill pickles. So just like a sprig or so. It's no big deal. It's fine, it's whatever. God, there's so many fun little things we can say with pickles in this episode. We're also gonna throw in a few whole peppercorns. We're gonna make a little brine. So our brine is just gonna be 1 cup of white vinegar, about a tablespoon of salt, and a tablespoon of granulated sugar. And then we're gonna do about 1 1/3 cup of water. We're just gonna heat up our brine until the salt and sugar dissolve. Then we're gonna pour it over this. This is a sterilized jar. I know I just touched it everywhere, so it's probably not as sterile as it was, but it's fine. And then we're gonna process this jar for about 15 minutes in this big old pot of boiling water. I'm gonna put these aside for about 24 hours, and our pickles will be done. Lucky for you, I'm a loser and I worked this weekend and made pickles anyway. So, see, this is how they're gonna look. Don't they look amazing? This is just like 2 days old. Pickles forever. Pickles for everyone. Pickles just for me because I live alone. I'm really in a pickle now.
You're waiting for the cricket sound effect we're gonna use?
Yes. You're welcome. I know what's coming. Our sugar and salt have dissolved. We're gonna pour it into our jar of pickles, leave a little bit of room at the top so we can seal it. Look at that, look, it's so beautiful to go from that to this. Let's pop these in. We're gonna process them in this water for about 15 minutes. You wanna put a rack at the bottom of your pot because this is a glass jar. You don't want it to touch the bottom because it could break and burst. All right, the pickles can come out of the water. They're cooling down. We're gonna put those aside. Now let's take the potatoes out of their own little brine. This is really important. It's a kind of annoying step when you're making potato chips, but very, very important. We'll dry them in batches and start frying them right away. So evidently potato chips were invented in the year 1853 in New York by a guy by the name of George Crumb. He was cooking away, chef in a restaurant. Someone complained that the fries were too thick, they weren't crispy enough. So the chef took the fries back and thinly sliced the potatoes like so. And snacking as we know it was changed forever. Ian says it's not true. I don't know. Who says if it's true? Why do you think it's not true?
The cranky customer wasn't even in the United States at the time the story took place.
Who's to say? Who knows what's true anymore? You can't trust us. Can't trust us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the section of the video we can't use.
I don't understand why I can't just make up lyrics to my own tunes or whatever already. Stupid. Okay, we're gonna fry at about 350 degrees. We're using a neutral oil, like vegetable oil, and then the temperature will go down to around 300. And we'll just do it in batches until they're nice and crispy. It only takes like 2 minutes. There's something really beautiful about these chips laid out on this. I love it. Okay, let's start frying. Oh, yes. Look at this, they're not sticking. They're looking very beautiful. Okay, look at these guys coming on out. Season them. Look at these guys. Looking beautiful. Oh my gosh. All right, we're ready to do some burgers now. I'm gonna get the cast iron really hot, like it's like smoking hot essentially. Not over hot heat though. We're gonna do it over like medium high. Don't forget about your snack and cheese. Snack and cheese, snack and cheese. Everybody loves some snack and cheese. Okay, doing our buns on one side. A little bit of salt. We're getting some nice color on each side of the burger. Then we're gonna flip it and add the cheese. Meanwhile, I'm just toasting up my bun. And I'm gonna do mustard. Like I said, the king of condiments. You can do mayonnaise. What I like to do is just kind of smash it down a little bit while it cooks. Look at that. Beautiful. Just flipping that over. And we're gonna add cheese, 2 slices on each side, because of course we're gonna put 2 pieces of cheese on both sides. We're gonna add a little bit of water into here and just cover it. We're just waiting for the cheese to melt and they're basically done. It's gonna be delicious. Meanwhile, should I open up my pickles? Ooh. It's delicious. It's the best pickle I've ever eaten, to be quite honest. Oh my gosh, this is done. 1 burger, 2 burgers. Let's do some of these chips on here. Do some slices of pickle. You might as well do some big old slices too. Extra pickle with it, anybody? And there you have it. The best goddamn burger, pickle, and chips you've ever had in your life, am I right? Let's slice this and see how juicy this Lucy is, whatever that means. Oh my gosh. Ready? Oh my God. The juice is loose. Look, it's dripping everywhere. I can't lie to you. I'm really happy and pleased with myself right now. I'm gonna put some potato chips on here. We just went through all that work and making homemade chips. Let's put some on our fucking sandwich. All right, here we go. Oh, yes. Oh. Mmm. Mmm. That is one juicy Lucy. Ooh, I love it. I mean, how they have like 5 napkin burgers and stuff? It's like a 10 napkin burger. There's literally just like cheese dripping everywhere. And I am not mad about this. So you got the brininess of the pickles, the beef flavor from that yellow mustard is really coming out, the crunch of the chips. I mean, Jesus Christ, all this cheese. Well, recipe click the link below. Hashtag cook munchies. Oh yeah, I forgot. Sicily. Easy peasy, easy peasy, cheesy burger, burger cheesy, the juiciest Lucy.